process of coming out and being birthed. And then we're birthed here. We're birthed into this environment. And somehow in the process, we sometimes lose our understanding that we're here to wake up and fully trust in this umbilical fluid that's here. And that all of the nourishment, all of the things are coming to us. Just like inside that nourishment in the womb, we didn't know what it would be like fully. We didn't have the full capacity. The thing that we had first was our heartbeat. That's the first thing that came online. The last thing that we measure in Egyptian and pretty much all mystery schools is the weight of your heart against a feather. What is lighter than a feather? What's lighter than a feather?
Atomic energy.
Atomic energy. What's lighter than a feather?
A heart with no regrets.
A heart with no regrets. What's lighter than a feather?
Light.
Light. Things that are in sacred resonance. Elevate. Things that are light. Things that have no regrets. Things that trust. So, this is Miss Belts. So, I hired a VA a few years ago, and she and I would send her recordings, and then she would make my little crafts. And I love this. I love leaving it like this because we wound up developing something together that helped quite a few women in where she was. She was homeless anyway, and she beautifully made this. This is what you are in here. Nerve bundles, hormones connected to organs within your body. You are, just like the earth has different regions, but it's one unit. You have different regions that when they're united, when they're congruent, they create an energy field. When they're not congruent, they're creating an energy field as well. So when I wasn't okay with being born in Pakistan, the first question that everyone would ask me was, where are you born? Where did you come from? What? And that was because I had in my frequency a wounding around not valuing that aspect of myself. So when my energy field was created out, there's no way that my energy field doesn't know everything I'm okay with and everything I'm not okay with. So going back to the sacred space of the womb, in the womb I trusted everything was being done. All I had to do was swim in the fluid and hopefully laugh at my mother, throw my thumbs up if I knew they were looking, connect with all of source, generate, come out into this field, and you've made it this far. So someone took care of you during that time frame. Something has gotten you to where you're in a room that can possibly give you information that people lived multiple lifetimes to generate. They swam with crocodiles. They went into the roughest areas to be able to have this information. So can we all agree that you did something really right and that the environment around you did something really right to get you here? This little field of consciousness, what we know is our DNA is affected. There it is. Our DNA is affected, and epigenetics, the work of Bruce Lipton, talks about our DNA expresses what we're feeling. So we have a feeling, then we create with our DNA. Our DNA is also changing the environment. It's the fabric through which reality is created. I love this. This is Pythagoras. Amazing. All was numbers. Numbers was the substance of all things. Number rules the universe. Number is the ruler of forms and ideas and the cause of gods and demons. Geometry is the knowledge of eternal existence. Something is heating up inside Egypt's ancient pyramids, and scientists can't explain it. This is said by a person that labeled themselves life coach. Infrared technology. This is not just here in the pyramids. This is at all the vortex spaces. It's happening right now. This is 2015. The last date on that was like they measured in March. The understanding of primary psychic reality is so inconceivably complex that it can only be grasped only at the farthest reach of intuition, and then but very dimly. That is why it needs symbols. We create an energy field. We create symbols outside of us in order to connect with what's happening on the inside. This is about 200-year-old science. It hasn't fully made it into our work because we haven't suspended all of the things that we don't fully, we're arguing about things. Those that are not in the reach of intuition. And when you want to prove something, you can actually prove it. That's what DNA says. You want to prove something wholeheartedly, the environment is going to mold in order for you to prove it. So these are some of the elements. So there is no beginning, there is no end. Everything's energy. Energy is never created nor destroyed. Who believes that? Awesome. So there is no time that the energy that you are will not exist. That's a far-reaching belief for a lot of people. It's hard for a lot of people to comprehend that. But you're going to go through all of these different air, fire, earth, water. Combine air and fire, you get hotness. Combine fire and earth, you get dryness. Combine earth and water, coldness. Combine water and air, wetness. Why is this important? Everything is creating as it rubs against each other. If we go back just one more right here, everything needs symbols. Everything needs and creates something. It is, nothing started, nothing ends. It's a continuation of getting more and more complex and more defined. These are the symbols right there. What is unique about these platonic solids is all of the faces are exactly the same on each end. So every triangle is exactly the same. The square, exactly the same. The octahedron, the isohedron, the decadahedron, all of these also represent, but this is what is experienced when these points come together. The flower of life, everything is organizing itself. I'm giving a very fast lecture because I want all of us to get readings. Who wants a reading? Awesome. So I'm moving through this. Everything is energy. Everything is measurable. Your life, your DNA, your particular signature is as unique as the platonic solids. Can you take that in just for a second? It fits in with everything else in a particular manner. This fits with this, fits with each of those to create a frequency and energy. This, I'm going to play something. These walls, this is etched into the stone. This is limestone. It takes with such precision. It's incredible. We to this day cannot etch out onto the walls what you see here. The precision with which it was carved in, the dedication that it takes to create something of this magnitude, to even be in, this is the deepest sanctuary within the Isis temple. The Isis temple is considered the healing temple, the goddess Isis. The goddess Isis wound up in mythology very, very quickly to say the first time everything was done, they had to label it. So the first time air connected with water, they had to label it. Everything was given a name and a symbol in order to have a connection, to make it make sense to our minds. The concepts are so huge. So we have Emil talking on this. Emil he literally was born in Luxor Temple, and they call him the bad boy of Egypt. He's really, really funny, and he tells great stories. This was his destiny, was to become an Egyptologist and an expert, and he's a Coptic Christian who studies with Greg Braden. He's the one who showed Greg Braden around, Marianne Williamson.
The shade river was in the island which is called the Island of Silence. That's where the story of Osiris and Isis took place. Osiris has set. And that's where he was cut into pieces. Remember that? And this is the island where Isis remembered him. It is the place of remembering. It's the only temple which has no wall surrounding it. Only surrounded by what? Every temple you're going to see has like a wall, but this has no wall. It's because they do represent life, because creation to the ancient Egyptians is like coming out of water. That's what it represents, creation. Be quiet and
So once a year, these doors would be opened, and only the masses could come in to the points that you're walking, and then we're going into the inner part, where only the priest and priestess, the pharaohs, and then you go into the inner sanctuaries.
this is the sanctuary, the Holy of Holies, the part which was only another one single to be opened. For the high priest, I mean the king was regent, to reactivate this sacrifice. For all the scenes you see in the walls here had been defaced by the crystal marks. Just in distant power, like the goddess. See that all is defacing? And once more the different thing was covered. This rises, and that's see, I showed you from the museum like 3 weeks ago. See the wings in hand, and there's wings coming. The wings move, energy is coming up in the hand. Just feel it.
The secret spot right here, this is the inner part of the Isis temple sanctuary. There's so much that happens here in terms of healing. We're surrounded by water, the room of creation. Inside the room, there's only water and oils and a heartbeat. And so we're learning to feel our own heartbeat.
So we have the same oils that you can apply. So one with the ceremony here.